I hope you are pumped about the weekend ahead. We have so much sports on the docket that even I'm so excited I can't get the words out. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, a full weekend of MLB, plenty of other action in between. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Butt Fumble Sports is live on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. And this hour, we're going to be focusing on your fantasy and sports betting questions. If there's a topic you want to rant about, if there's something going on in the sports world that has you hot under the collar, we want to hear about it. Right in the comments section. We want to make sure we're addressing everything that you guys care about. Of course, we're going to be doing our research live on the show. So if you guys need help with your fantasy sports plays, your sports bets for the evening, welcome in everybody, because we will be doing our research live, answering your questions. Our focus is going to be you guys. So I've already done my research. I know the picks that I'm going to go with tonight. If you guys want any of my picks, just DM me on Instagram. You guys know I give those away for free. But this hour is for you, the loyal butt fumbler, the loyal sports fan. How can we help you with your bets tonight? Maybe it's for our March Celebrity Shot contest. Maybe it's for a sports bet you had. Whatever it is, Butt Fumble Sports is here to help you. We're going to be giving out picks. We're going to be doing our research. What's good, everyone? Leo, what's your picks? We'll be putting them out on the show throughout the next hour. But if you want any of my picks for free, DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports will never, ever, ever charge you for a pick. I think it's ridiculous. I know there are other people on social media that charge you viewers for a pick. I think that's ludicrous. I think it's stupid. I think they're assholes. Our job is to do research. Our passion is doing research. We love finding the best bets every day based on trends, data, analytics, matchups, weather, whatever data we can get our hands on. And once we come up with our picks, we give them away for free. So if you want any of our free picks, DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram. We give away our picks for free. JT, any good value parlays in the NHL tonight? We'll start with the NHL since that's the question that we're getting right now. Really quick, we're going to jump on over to Outlier. Outlier is one of the sports betting research tools that we use here every single day. Be mindful, everybody. The Florida Panthers are getting a lot of love on the spread when it comes to the money. Florida Panthers are actually the favorite in tonight's game against the Boston Bruins. And right now, 80% of the money has come down on the Florida Panthers to cover. Discrepancy there. Really quick, let's jump on over to killersports.com. Killersports.com is a website that we use every day to dive into some of these trends. It's free, so you guys can use it right along with us. We're focusing first on the Florida Panthers when they are coming off a win after coming off a loss, and they're a road favorite. Looking at that scenario, they're 3-3. The over is 4-2. How about we look at it from a Bruins side of things? How have the Bruins done after a loss, which followed a win, and they're a home dog so far this year? This is the first time that this year that's actually happened. Let's see when they've been a favorite. Bruins have been 5-3 under that scenario. Not a lot of data here that we really like. How about in the previous game, the over hit? So after the Bruins have a loss and the over hit, they're 9-7. We want to continue to try to find some trends that really stand out on this one. So far this game, not really providing a lot of good trends. Here's one for you. When the Bruins are coming off a loss and coming off a game in which the over hit and they're at home, they're actually 5-0. So we finally found a trend that really solidifies the Bruins. I personally wouldn't bet it, but the trend is there, so keep your eye on that. When the Bruins are coming off a loss and they're an underdog, so far this year, it's only happened 4 times. They're 3-1. So there's a little bit of reason to actually believe in the Bruins according to the trends. However, I'm kind of following the money. I'd be a bit more inclined actually to follow the Florida Panthers to cover. As for Oilers and Canucks, this is a tricky one right now. Oilers had that lead. Canucks made the comeback. Let's take a look at after a win when the Canucks are a home favorite, which they are not tonight. They're a home dog, so let's switch that up. After a win when they're a home dog, Canucks are 4-1 under that scenario. Their only loss was October 28th, so a long time ago. How about the Oilers? Coming off a loss when they are a road favorite after a loss. The Oilers are 8-6 straight up, 8-6. Not great. We wish that was a little bit better. Right now, I'm avoiding the hockey games. I'm going to enjoy these two games tonight. But everything I've seen from the NHL over the past week or two suggests the trends are kind of out. I'm kind of avoiding it altogether. I do want to give out a first bet of the evening, though, for all those that are watching the show. First free bet that we're going to give out is going to be Cubs, Pirates. I'm taking the under on that one. I'm taking under 9. So, yes, I'm taking an alternative line on this. Right now, Cubs, Pirates, it's set at 7.5. Actually, I'm going to take it at the 8.5. So Cubs, Pirates, under 8.5 runs. That's where I'm coming out on that. Hey, Javier Assad, Jared Jones, the two starting pitchers there. I lean towards the Pirates to get the win, but I'm not going to put that on the big board. Cubs, Pirates, under 8.5. First one on the board. Leo, I like the Phillies. I like the Braves. I like the Rangers. I like all three of the bets you just put up there. And very nice, Leo. We'll dive into some of the trends as we continue to work. Jennifer, I'm mad at YouTube and TikTok for not alerting me on your lives. No worry, Jennifer. You're in here now, as is IP Shade 45. Thanks for the hat and mustache, IP Shade 45. It is so wonderful to see so many of you familiar faces, the familiar handles come up every single show. Love talking sports with you guys every single day. Again, if you miss any bet that I ever give out, they're always for free. Never behind a paywall. I never charge for them. I don't delete them. So if you guys want free picks, you could follow them, you could fade them, entirely up to you. Just DM me on Instagram, Buttfumble Sports, the name of my company. DM me on Instagram. I'll hook you up with those free picks. Lucky picks, Oakland versus Mariners. This is not a game that I'm actually going to bet. I looked at it a little bit earlier. Really dicey. Right now, the Mariners are definitely getting the love on the money, but actually when I looked at some of the trends, the Oakland Athletics had some trends working in their favor, so it was kind of a split decision, Lucky Picks, so I'm going to back away from it. If you want to follow the money and go Mariners, I get it, but you may want to take a kind of play where you may take Mariners on the money line, and then maybe Oakland to cover, maybe Oakland plus 1.5, Oakland plus 2. I think that's how you should play at Lucky Picks. That's how I'm coming down on it. The Sports Addicts Network, Orioles, Royals, Moneyline Parlay. Okay, I have some reasons to be a little bit cautious about this one. Royals, not necessarily a bet that I really like. I understand that the money right now is coming down on the Royals, but a number of the trends actually suggest the Angels could be a decent play. So I'm not as big on that one as you are. Additionally, you brought up the Orioles. The Orioles tonight are hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks. Again, I'm taking the Orioles on the money line, but I feel like this game could be a bit closer than you would like. So I know those seem like two very obvious plays, but I actually think both of those are closer to coin flip plays than you would like. Anthony Quintero brings up a phenomenal player prop bet. Let's get it on the board because this is a player prop bet that I absolutely love today. Marcell Ozuna. Let me tell you why. First of all, over half a hit is minus 195. Not too bad given where a lot of over half a hits come down. Against Jose Quintana in his career, Marcell Ozuna has 24 at-bats. In those 24 at-bats, he's hitting .458, 1 home run, 7 RBIs. If you want something even more to believe in, Marcell Ozuna has a .389 batting average against left-handed pitchers this year, including 3 home runs. Obviously, Jose Quintana, left-handed pitcher. Let's look at the last 10 games against left-handed starting pitchers. Marcell Ozuna has a hit in 9 of them. Anthony Quintero, I absolutely love this play. You can put it on the board. Yes, sir. Marcell Ozuna over half a hit. That is our first player prop bet we're giving out during the show. I actually have a lot of player prop bets that are already on the SHARPZ app. So again, if you want to see every bet that I've already made, every bet that I've already placed prior to the show, DM me on Instagram. You'll see all of them for free. I will not charge you a cent. They're always for free. Why? Because you're a good sports fan. Your money should go towards sports betting, not towards some person on social media's picks. I give away my picks for free. Your job is to be a good sports fan and watch our content. Other than that, here are the picks for free, guys. Jay, Giants. Not crazy about the Giants, actually. Dodgers money line check. Braves money line check. Phillies money line check. I'll even put those up on the big board so you guys know exactly where I stand on them. We were saying Phillies money line check. For some of you, I'd even recommend Phillies -1.5. But Jay, I like the parlay as you have it. Dodgers on the money line. It's a Tyler Glasnow night. I definitely like Dodgers on the money line. And Braves on the money line. Again, they're facing Jose Quintana. Not only do they have a couple hitters who really rock his world, but the Braves are the better roster overall. But keep in mind, here are a couple hitters who hit Jose Quintana very, very well. We mentioned Marcell Ozuna. Ozzie Albies is hitting .538 against Quintana. Yes, I do have Ozzie Albies over half a hit. Let's get that one up on the big board as well. For some of you, this might just be a really good same game parlay. Ozzie Albies half a hit is going off at like -245 on DraftKings. That's not really attractive to most of you, but if you put that into a same game parlay, it becomes very attractive much, much faster. So we have Marcell Ozuna over half a hit. We're going to put Ozzie Albies over half a hit up on the big board as well. Speaking of a few more Braves that have really good numbers against Jose Quintana, we also have Adam Duvall. He's 3 for 6, 2 home runs lifetime against Quintana. So in only 6 at-bats, 2 home runs out of the 3 hits he has. And of course, Jared Kelenic, 1 for 2, not a huge sample size, but a number of Braves hitters hit Jose Quintana very well. Love seeing that. So, a couple of game picks we just put on the board, a couple of player prop bets as well. Getting back to doing our research for you guys live on the air. The Sports Addicts Network, Yankees team total over 4.5. Yankees team total over 4.5. Very close. I feel like you're right on the edge. I could see 4 runs. I could see 5. I'm leaning slightly towards the over, but not by a significant margin. It's very close, the Sports Addict Network. Personally, for me, it's not a bet that I love because, again, if it's that close, if I don't have high confidence level in it, it's not one that I'm jumping at. I tend to say, yeah, take the over, but I don't have a high enough confidence level to really have you sink your teeth on it. Jay, Phillies first 5 money line. Yes, 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 I do like it. Okay, let me actually show you a few trends involving the Phillies and the Marlins because it's just sexy. It's beautiful. Marlins are a favorite tonight. 96% of the money is on the Phillies to win. 99% of the money is on the Phillies to cover a 1.5 run spread. Let me show you a few of the trends that have us frickin' geeked up to bet the Phillies tonight. And again, I don't always want to advocate for betting on a certain team without doing the research. So I'm going to show you right now. First of all, day of the week, Phillies on a Friday. You might go, what do we care? They're 4-2, just something to note. Going into a weekend, they haven't performed poorly. How about the Marlins on a Friday? How have the Marlins done on the last day of the work week? 0-5. The Marlins are 0-5 when they play on a Friday. You may go, but Fumble Sports, we don't care about that. That's just one variable. But Fumble Sports, don't you like a constellation of things going in the same direction, telling you something? Well, for those that are curious, how about the starting pitcher of the Miami Marlins tonight? Trevor Rogers. He's made 6 starts so far this year. So far, the Marlins, in his 6 starts, are 0-6 straight up. They're 0-6 on the run line. You heard that correct. When Trevor Rogers pitches for the Marlins so far this year, they have failed to cover the spread in every game they've played. When I said I like Phillies -1.5, this is the reason why. Let's flip it on over. How about Ranger Suarez? Has Ranger Suarez been a good starting pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies so far in 2024? The answer, you know he is. Ranger Suarez has made 7 starts for the Phillies in 2024. Not only are the Phillies 7-0, they're 7-0 against the spread. So, on one hand, the Marlins starting pitcher is the team's 0-6 when he starts and 0-6 on the run line. Meanwhile, the Phillies are 7-0 straight up when Ranger Suarez starts, and they're 7-0 on the run line. You can't get trends that That is the ultimate constellation of trends right there. That's why we're going Phillies. And again, for you guys out there, not only do I like the Phillies on the money line, I'd seriously consider Phillies minus 1.5. I know the Phillies money line might be good enough for a number of you guys, but for some of those who want to take a little bit of risk, I think Phillies win by at least 2 runs this evening. Appreciate your question. Appreciate you guys following along with the trends. Again, you miss any of my picks, no worries. I give them away for free. Just DM me on Instagram. Jojo Rich is bringing up the Guardians in the first 5. First of all, Guardians, I feel like everyone's going to be betting to win tonight, but actually, it's not as good a bet as you would think. Let me show you guys really, really quickly. The White Sox coming off a win at home. It'll surprise you. They're actually 3-1 straight up. They're actually 4-0 on the run line. You heard that correct. The White Sox obviously don't have that many wins this year, but in the 4 games they've played after a win, when they're at home, 3-1 straight up, 4-0 on the run line. So some of you are actually going to get caught up in that Guardians play. I'm not saying the Guardians can't win. I'm saying this is a trap. This is one in which everyone's going to be piling on Guardians money line, given that the White Sox won the first game of the series. But actually the trends don't suggest that's a very good play. Be very careful. This is actually one you might want to keep your eye on. Now, what I will say about this game, if there was a bet that I was going to lean towards, it might be the under a little bit. Really quick, let's look at it. Guardians, White Sox, 7.5 right now. I don't like it at that spot. It opened at 8. It moved down to 7. Tells you something about how the money's coming down. If you want to take it under 9, under 8.5, I'd absolutely endorse that. But you want to play the total in this one. I don't think you want to play a side. I think White Sox and Guardians is the ultimate trap of the evening. So keep your eye on that one. Rangers first 5 was the other question that we just had. Rangers this evening. They are on the road, I believe. Where are the Rangers? Just going through my notes here, ballparkpal.com. Rangers are on the road at the Rockies. We love the Rangers tonight. We love the Rangers. John Gray on the mound for the Rangers. Austin Gomber on the mound for the Colorado Rockies. I'm a very big believer in the Rangers. Really quick, let's just plug in Austin Gomber. So far this year, the Rockies are 2-5 in his 7 starts, but they're 0-5 in his last 5. The under has also been a very good play in those recent starts. Something to keep your eye on. But I do like the Rangers to win. Really quick, let's just see how John Gray has done on the mound so far this year. The under's a good play in this one. The under's gone 5-1-1 when John Gray has started. The under has gone 5-2 when Austin Gomber starts. So I'm actually going to put this one up on the board as well. I like Rangers on the money line. No surprise for all of you guys out there. But actually a bet that I really like based on the trends is going to be Rangers, Rockies, and I'm going to take the under. Really quick, I'm just going to look at ballparkpal.com. Okay, according to the weather, that's not a great bet, so I'm going to rip it off the board. But according to the trends, the under's the good play. Not putting it on the big board, but according to trends, with these 2 starting pitchers, I don't know. Seems like a pretty good play. Really quick, let's just look at the Rockies so far this year when they're at home in general. The over-under has actually gone 8-8, so kind of an interesting one there. Rangers on the road as an away favorite. Rangers away favorite. 5-2 straight up, 4-3 towards the over. So Rangers on the money line. Rangers on the money line. That's what's on the big board. But you might want to consider that under if you're buying it up, maybe up to 11. That might be the spot to take it. Let's get back to some of these questions. What do you think about Halliburton 19.5 points? It's NBA player prop bet time for all those out there. Ben Dover is asking us to go look at Tyrese Halliburton, and specifically we're going to look at his point total for this evening. As you mentioned, 19.5. You're curious about the over. Not a very good trend, I'm going to admit that. Now, the Knicks are the best defense in the NBA at preventing points by point guards. They're the number 1 defense when it comes to points allowed to point guards. So that's something we don't like to start off with. Now, he's gone over this total just 3 times in his last 7 games against the New York Knicks. In home games, just 1 out of his last 2. How about in his last 10 home games? 3 out of his last 10 he's hit this. I honestly don't like this bet. It hasn't been a good trend. A lot of reason for us to be cautious about it. He's also a game time decision with a back. We all expect him to play. But again, kind of a reason to kind of be cautious about this one. Let's just see when he has had Pascal Siakam in the lineup at home. It's just not a good bet. It's not a good bet. So bend over. I understand you're maybe believing in Halliburton, but the trends don't back it in any way, so I'm just going to avoid it. We got another question from Ben, which is about Josh Hart. Josh Hart, points, rebounds, and assists. No OG Anunoby for the New York Knicks. How will that impact Josh Hart's production? Looking at 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. When it comes to shooting guard position, points is a good matchup against the Indiana Pacers, but rebounds, assists, not so much. This 36.5, he has gone over in 3 straight games, 5 of his last 8 games. How about head-to-head against the Pacers? He did it in games 1 and 2, but prior to that, had failed to hit it in 5 straight. Not surprising, his production's gone way up more recently. How about in his last 20 games on the road? He's only hit this in 4 games on the road in his last 20 games played on the road. Ben, once again, this ain't a good play. In fact, if I raise this up a little bit, if I take under 38.5, he has only gone over 38.5 one time in his last 20 road games. I think that tells you something, Ben. He's only gone over 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists once in his last 20 road games that came against Cleveland back in March. I put this up on the board, actually. I know it's not one that most of you are going to jump at. It's an alternative line, and it's not a great one. But under 38.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. I mean, Josh Hart, he's going to play a lot of minutes, but 37.5, he just hasn't been hitting that consistently. I'd take the under 38.5, Ben, maybe fold it into a parlay. Speaking of the NBA on this one, I do have a couple of NBA picks that I'm going to give out. The first one, really quick, let's just jump on over to the NBA game, see how the money's coming down on it. The Knicks are a 7.5 point underdog. Let me repeat that. The Knicks, the team that won game 1 and 2, they're a 7.5 point underdog. Let's look at some trends when the Knicks are a big underdog like that. Is there anything we can kind of take away from that data? So the Knicks, when they have been an underdog of at least 6 points so far this year, they're 1 and 5 straight up. They're 1 and 5 against the spread. So the Knicks, when they have been a big underdog, not a very good team actually. 1 and 5 straight up, 1 and 5 against the spread. The over has also gone 4 and 2. Let's dive into it a little bit more. How about the Knicks when they are coming off of back-to-back wins and they're on the road? So a 2-game win streak on the road, 10 and 7 straight up, 10 and 7 against the spread. The over's 11 and 6. How about when they're playing a team with a winning record under that scenario? So back-to-back wins on the road against a team with a winning record. They have a losing record, 4 and 6 straight up. They have a losing against the spread record, 4 and 6. But once again, the over is 7 and 3. The over is actually hit in their last 4 games when they're off back-to-back wins on the road against a team with a winning record. I'm telling you, there's something about that overplay, but we'll get into it in a moment. How about let's flip it over? How about the Indiana Pacers? Pacers are coming off back-to-back losses. They are at home, and they're playing a team with a winning record. How have they performed? They're only 1 and 3 straight up. They're 1, 2, and 1 against the spread. What you're really hearing about the trends that I'm seeing, I'm not betting this game. A lot of people are telling me to believe in the Pacers. The money right now, as I just showed you up on YouTube, 48% of the money is actually on the Knicks to win. So even though 83% of the tickets are on the Pacers, 48% of the money is on the Knicks. We see that discrepancy. We usually want to follow the money. But I'm not going to focus on the spread. I'm not going to focus on the money line. I'm not going to touch this one. I feel like this game is, again, a coin flip. What I really like, I like the over. I like the over in Knicks and Pacers. Let me get that one up on the big board. That's Knicks. That's Pacers. I'm taking the over. Now, right now, the total is set at 222.5. 222.5. It opened at 225.5. It's since come down to 222.5. I kind of like that it's working in my favor, coming down slowly. But even better, I'm going to buy it at over 218.5. So if this gets to 219, I'm in the money. I'm taking over 218.5 for Knicks and Pacers based on the trends we just went with. The trends are really favoring the over. I like the over as well. Really quick, I'm actually just curious about this. How have the Pacers done off a loss when they're at home and they're on just 1 day of rest? The over is 10-4. The Pacers are 11-3 straight up, and they're 11-2-1 against the spread. Again, do I think the Pacers probably win tonight? Probably, but I'm not going to bet it. I'm not going to bet the money line. I'm not going to bet the spread. What am I betting? Over. I'm taking over 218.5 for Knicks and Pacers. If you've missed any of our show, any of our picks, any of our research, we give away our picks for free. I will never, ever charge you for a pick. You're a loyal sports fan. You deserve to put your money towards sports betting, not towards someone on the social media who's doing sports betting research. I give away my picks for free. Thank you, IP Shade 45. So if you ever want my picks for free, you can follow them, you can fade them. That's up to you. You don't have to follow everyone, but if you want to see every bet that I make based on trends, data, analytics, matchups, officiating, weather, whatever information we can get our hands on, DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. I'll send you a link and a referral code for the SHARPZ app. SHARPZ is an app that's like a bulletin board for sports bettors. Every time I make a bet, no matter what kind of bet, it could be a parlay, a round robin, or a straight up bet, every time I place a bet, it automatically goes up on the SHARPZ app, so you guys can see it every day. I don't have to manually put it there. You guys can see every bet I make, and even better, I put together a lot of parlays, same game parlays, players I think are all going to get a hit parlays. If you don't want to manually recreate those parlays, you can literally hit a button and it generates that parlay right in your sports book, so you don't have to go through the process of getting and finding all of those individual bets and putting them on the same ticket. So a lot of ways that you guys can take advantage of the research that we do, the work that we do. That's what we're about. Let's get to some more questions. If you guys have a question, JP, what's good over on YouTube? Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for watching the show. If you guys have a pick that you want researched, let us know. Roberto is asking about that Denver Nuggets game. Let's dive into it. Nuggets right now are an underdog. Believe it or not, we have reached that point in the year. The Denver Nuggets are a 3.5-point underdog. Important to note, 79% of the bets right now are on the Timberwolves to win. 52% of the money is on the Nuggets to win. So that discrepancy has us thinking. Now, so far, the money and the tickets are both coming down on the Timberwolves to cover. We're going to keep our eye on that really quick. But Nuggets, when they are an underdog of at least 3 points, it's only happened 3 times this year. They're 3-1 against the spread, okay? How about when the Nuggets are coming off back-to-back losses and they're on the road against a winning team? That's the scenario they face tonight after back-to-back losses. Hasn't happened this year, believe it or not. The Cooper, thanks so much for the hat and mustache. Hasn't happened so far this year. How about coming off of 1 loss on the road against a team with a winning record? What's their record? 2-3 straight up, 1-4 against the spread. Not good. Interesting there. Okay. How about let's continue to dive into it. How about when the Nuggets are coming off a loss and they're an underdog in the following game? 2-2 straight up. The under is 1-3. So a lot of notes here in which the Nuggets were kind of half on the fence, half off the fence. Interesting to note, though, for the most part, the margin of difference has been around 5-6 points. In all the trends we just looked at, the scoring margin of difference is around 5-6 points. We'll talk about why that's important in a moment. How about the Timberwolves? Timberwolves are coming off back-to-back wins. They're at home and they're on 1 day of rest. So far this year, they're 4-5 under that scenario, but more importantly, they've lost their last 4 straight games when this has been the case. Back-to-back wins, and they're at home on just 1 day of rest. They're 0-4 in their last 4 games, and they've actually failed to cover the spread in 2, 4, 6 straight games. The margin difference in scoring in all 9 of these has been just 2 points. This is what I care about here. Do I think the Nuggets are going to win this game? They could. I'm not going to bet that. You know what I'm going to bet? Nuggets are going to cover the spread this game. Nuggets, I've got it plus 6.5. Nuggets plus 6.5. If you want to take a plus 7.5, I totally get that. You can put that into some parlays and get good usage out of it. But I think the Nuggets aren't going to lose by 7 points tonight. I have Nuggets plus 6. I did buy an alternative line on this one. Nuggets plus 6 right now is available as minus 165 on ESPN Bet, minus 175 on BetMGM, minus 178 on FanDuel, and minus 180 on DraftKings. So the worst spot you could take it is DraftKings at minus 180. I love the spot. I think the Nuggets cover tonight. Nuggets plus 6.5. Look, I understand that the Nuggets really struggled in the first 2 games. I'm expecting them to play much, much better tonight. So I'll take the Nuggets to cover. Those are my 2 NBA game picks. I'm not betting a side when it comes to the money line for either one of these. I kind of got burned yesterday by the Mavericks and by the Cavaliers. Maybe some of that residual taste in the mouth is preventing me from taking a money line bet. But I like Knicks and Pacers over 218.5. That's Knicks and Pacers over 218.5. And I like the Nuggets plus 6.5. So Nuggets plus 6.5. Knicks Pacers over 218.5. If you ever miss a pick, DM me on Instagram. They're always free. I will never charge you. They're always free. So DM me on Instagram to get every bet that I make every single day. Jay, you don't think Jay Webb can get the job done for the Giants today? Interesting that you bring that up. So looking at the Giants right now, I actually think it's a coin flip. I actually like the Reds a little bit more, believe it or not. But it's just a game that I'm not interested in. I'm not going to bet it. A lot of trends were kind of splitting the difference on it. So Jay, not one that I got behind. Siakam should have a great game with OG out and a size advantage over Hard. Jorge, I agree with you. Thanks, Cooper. I actually think one of the biggest negatives for the Pacers over the last 2 games when OG was on the floor was the fact that his defense was such a big factor. Obviously, without him out there, how is it going to impact things? Let's take a look at Pascal Siakam over on points. Now, keep in mind, the trends are going to favor the under a little bit given his recent performances, but let's see if we can break this down. Right now, it's set at 20.5, just like you said. The matchup is okay. Knicks are ranked 11th in points allowed to power forwards. Again, hasn't been a good trend in the back half of the Milwaukee series and so far in the Knicks series. But how about at home? Little bit better, 4 out of his last 10. How about at home against the Knicks? Actually, he hasn't played a game at home against the Knicks. And this is 0-4 in all of his games against the Knicks so far this year. Now, all of those have been at Madison Square Garden. But there's just a lot of reason for me to not love this. The last time he went over 20.5 points was the overtime game that he had against the Bucks on April 23rd. It's been a minute. I don't know. This is a tough one for me. The toughest part is the trends are all representing his time against OG, but even when he was going up against the Bucks, the last 4 games in that Bucks series, the most points he had was 19. So he just hasn't been nearly as effective shooting the basketball. I'm not going to bet this one. Jorge, I understand where your mindset is, but I can't take things off of mindset. I can't follow narrative. I have to follow statistics, data, trends. You know that's how I approach things from a quantitative analysis standpoint. And thus far, there's nothing about the data. There's nothing about the trends that points me towards Pascal Siakam over on points. In fact, this opened at 21.5, and it's since come down to 20.5. So clearly the money is coming down on the under. Doesn't necessarily say something, but it tells you that the market isn't really there for him right now, at least. Someone's asking about Naz Reid, 10 points. Let's see if Naz Reid can get to 11 points this evening. Right now for 10.5 points, the under's got the better implied probability. The over's been a pretty decent trend. How about at home? It's only cashed in 2 of his last 5 home games, but prior to that had been a very good trend. Head-to-head against the Nuggets. Now, the center position actually performs pretty well against the Nuggets. Nuggets are 23rd in points allowed to centers, so a reason to kind of believe in that. How about head-to-head against the Nuggets? Scored in his first game, not in the other. Oh, this is a good trend, actually. So Naz Reid has gone over 10.5 points in 6 of his last 8 games against the Denver Nuggets. Let's see when Rudy Gobert is in the lineup, though. Rudy Gobert is playing 4 of his last 6. We like that. How about when Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert are both in the lineup, as they will be this evening? 2 for 2. Naz Reid, in his only 2 games against the Nuggets with Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns in the lineup, he went over that point total twice, Abu. How about in his last 10 games with the 2 of them? 6 out of the last 10 overall. How about in home games? 6 of his last 10. I like it, personally. I probably buy it down. I take Naz Reid over 9.5 points. If he gets to the double digits, there you go. So I take the 9.5 over 10.5. But it actually is a bet that I'd be considering. Yep. Pacers, Knicks, Whamex full. Yes, I took Pacers and Knicks. I took the over 218.5. Again, if you've missed any of our picks, let me recap them right now. Here are the picks we've given out so far during the show. So listen up, everyone. Here are the picks we've given out doing our research live on the show. I have Cubs and Pirates under 8.5. Cubs and Pirates under 8.5. I have Phillies on the money line. You may even want to consider the Phillies minus 1.5. I've got Dodgers on the money line. Braves on the money line. Rangers on the money line. We even talked about Rangers, Rockies, potentially like under 11. Didn't put it on the big board, but you might want to consider it. Player prop bets. I took Marcelo Zuna over half a hit. I took Ozzy Albies over half a hit. Those might be some nice same game parlays or a 2-leg parlay. How about NBA? We have Knicks and Pacers over 218.5. I have the Nuggets plus 6.5. And as for Josh Hart, I'm taking under 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That's Josh Hart under 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists. If you miss any of the picks that I make every day, I give them away for free on the SHARPZ app. They're never behind a paywall. You never get charged a cent. There's a lot of transparency. So if you want to see every bet that I make, all you have to do is DM me on Instagram. But Fumble Sports, DM me on Instagram. I'll give you a link and a referral code so you can see every bet for free, because you're a sports fan just like me, and I would never ever charge you for a pick. I give them away for free because just like you, I love sports. I love sports betting research. And I want to get the most out of my sports betting entertainment every night. So I just do this research for free and give away my results. So make sure you DM me this evening. Anthony, Rangers over 4.5. I do like that. Isaiah is asking about Anthony Edwards' points and assists. Let's take a look at the superhero that is Ant-Man and whether he can go over his points and assist total. You're seeing it set at 33.5. That's what we have as well. The under is getting a little bit more of an implied probability, at least on the Outlier app. Let's take a look at the matchup. Against shooting guards, Nuggets are actually a decent team, but the last 2 games he's been hot. Really, the last 5 games he's been hot. He has gone over this total in 5 of his last 6 games, actually. If we look at it at home, only 3 of his last 10, though. At home, this has not been nearly as good a play. How about when Rudy Gobert is in the lineup and when Cat's in the lineup? When those 2 players are actually playing, how does he perform? Not great. He's only gone over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists 2 times in his last 10 games with both Rudy Gobert and Cat in the lineup. So a little bit of reason to be cautious. How about against the Nuggets? 2 of his last 3, but not in the last game they played. In fact, the last game that he had was in that he went over this total against the Nuggets was April of 2023. I'm not crazy about it. I'm on the fence. This could go either way. At home, it hasn't been nearly as good a play as it has been on the road. That's the caution. Here's what I'd say. Isaiah King, if I had to go in any direction on this one, I would take the over. I'd buy it down to over 31.5. But frankly, even there, I'd probably take the over. It's not as good a trend at home as it has been on the road, but I'd lean a little bit towards it. Can you check Rays on the money line? Interesting there, actually. Rays on the money line. Look, the Yankees are going to get the money right now. Yankees are getting 80% of the tickets and 88% of the money right now on the money line. And I actually have a bad trend for you. Let me show you. This trend is not going to make you happy, but I want to make sure I call it out for all those who are betting Yankees and Rays. This is actually what really has my attention. So the starting pitcher for the Yankees is Clark Schmidt. So far this year, when Clark Schmidt's on the mound, Yankees are 6-1. Their only loss was to the Orioles. It was a 2-0 loss, but Clark Schmidt has pitched really well, and the Yankees have played exceptionally well when he's been on the mound. One reason that you might want to be a little bit cautious about taking Rays on the money line. Additionally, if I look at the Yankees, after a loss on the road, they lost yesterday to the Astros. They're 5-4 after a loss. How about when they're a road favorite after a loss? They're 3-2. How about just after a loss in general? So far this year after a loss, they're 9-4. So the Yankees have performed very well coming off a loss. And finally, I'm kind of curious when they're coming off a loss and a game in which the under hit. They're 6-3 straight up. 2-7 on the run line. 2-7 on the run line. In fact, here's actually a good note for you. For Whamex Full, you're curious about the Rays. The Yankees, when they're coming off a loss, and in that same game they're coming off the under, which is exactly what happened yesterday against the Astros, the Yankees are 2-7 on the run line, and in fact they have not won a game by more than 2 runs. The biggest margin of difference in these games, in these 9 games we're looking at, is 2 runs. So actually, you know what's a really good bet? Rays +2. Rays +2, if you can get it at a good spot. Rays +2 is right now -218. It's not a bad bet, everybody. Rays +2, according to the trends, is actually a good play. I know Clark Schmidt on the mound. I'd go Yankees money line, Rays +2. That's how I'd split the difference. I'm not going to put it up on the big board, but that is how I bet it. Yankees on the money line, Rays +2. That's how I'd play it, Whamex Full. Travis is asking about Blue Jays on the money line. How are we feeling about them Blue Jays? They're facing the Twins tonight. So far, the money is coming down in favor of the Blue Jays. 79% of the money is coming down on the Blue Jays. Do you know the Blue Jays are actually an underdog tonight? Pretty crazy. A home underdog against the Twins. Let's take a look at how the Blue Jays have done, let's just say, on a Friday. How have the Blue Jays done on a Friday? The answer? 2-4 straight up, 2-4 on the run line. How about when they're in the first game of a series? Blue Jays start their series with the Twins tonight. They're actually 7-5 when they're in the first game of a series. How about when that first game is at home? Just going through some of the trends. Right now, 3-2. Not a lot we could take from that. How are the Twins' first game of a series when they're on the road? Twins' first game of a series on the road. They're 3-3 straight up, 3-3 on the run line. Take a look at the Blue Jays. After a win at home, Blue Jays got a win against the Phillies in their last game. They're 5-3 straight up after a win at home. How about the Twins? Twins are coming off a loss and obviously on the road. Under that scenario, the Twins are just 2-4. I think I do like the Blue Jays on the money line, Travis. The only caution is the starting pitcher. Sorry, they're coming off a win. The Twins are coming off a win. Ooh, I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. Travis, forgive me. I spoke too soon. I plugged in the wrong information. Here's the trend. So the Twins won their last game, and now they're on the road. They actually have a 2-4-6-game winning streak. After a win, when they're on the road, they're 8-3 so far this year straight up. After a win and they're on the road, how has Joe Ryan pitched so far this year? Starting pitcher for the Minnesota Twins for this evening's game. Joe Ryan, in his starts, the Twins are just 4-3, so not great. How about Kikuchi? You see Kikuchi on the mound for the Blue Jays. How have the Blue Jays performed when Kikuchi is on the mound? I love that name, Kikuchi. They're 3-4 straight up, 2-5 on the run line, so not great. I actually took the Twins +1.5 earlier today, but I could see Blue Jays money line, Twins to cover. That's an okay play. Travis, I still think I go Blue Jays on the money line. Only thing Twins I like is Willie Castro better now. I understand why. Willie Castro's been playing well. Jeffers has been playing well also. Really quick though, let me show you players I like to get a hit in that game. We've talked about players to get a hit almost every day of the week. It's becoming one of my new favorite games to bet. We're looking at Twins. We're looking at Blue Jays. Now for the Blue Jays against Joe Ryan, players to look for. Varsho, Justin Turner, but not great. I wish they had better stats. Correa is really the one. Correa has great numbers against Kikuchi. 474 average and 19 at-bats against Kikuchi. So that's definitely one that stands out. One thing I'm going to say, Willie Castro is just 1 for 5 against UC Kikuchi. Now, that one hit was a home run. Against left-handed pitching, Willie Castro is hitting 480, so better now. That's why I totally understand it. But a little bit of an extra note there. Crispin, Phillies money line, I like it. White Sox first 5 innings, believe it or not, that's actually a much better bet than any of us would have first expected. White Sox first 5 money line is actually a good play, believe it or not. Pats and Sox, O's, D-backs over 7.5. I'm not betting it. I do like your AZ crushes on lefties. Christian Walker. Christian Walker is a guy to get tonight for over half a hit. In fact, let me throw that one up on the board right now. I want to show you guys Christian Walker stats against Cole Irvin. He has just 3 at bats. He has 2 hits in those 3 at bats. One of them was a home run. Against left-handed pitching this year, Christian Walker is hitting 306. Only 1 home run, but the 306 average stands out. So another player prop bet that's going up on the big board. Christian Walker over half a hit. Christian Walker over half a hit. As for Diamondbacks and Orioles, that's a game in which I actually don't love the over. I'm avoiding that one. I think it's pretty close. The weather in that game is not favoring offense, actually. So I'm not going to bet the over in that one, Pats and Sox. I actually think that might be a bit of a trap. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are loving the show. If you love the content, if you love the conversation, make sure you DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram. That way you never miss a bet. I give away my picks for free every day. Travis, I so appreciate you supporting the show. Obviously, when you guys contribute to the show, just allows me to create more content, run the company, and do a lot of things to make the content better. But I will never, ever charge you for a pick. My picks are free every day. I know there are so many places where you can get sports betting insight. I'm just grateful that you follow or that you watch us. Thank you, Deadpool. So if you ever want my picks for free, just DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports, that's the name of my company, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram, you get every pick for free. By the way, we're live almost every single day on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So no matter the platform you're watching on, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, make sure you never miss a time when we go live, because this is what you get every single time. User 7222, Red Sox money line, I'd be careful. That's a dangerous play. I know Tanner Houck is on the mound for the Red Sox. Obviously, he's pitched very well for them. You could consider him the ace for the Red Sox. But that game's a tricky one. I think it's a coin flip. I'd actually rather go with the Nationals to cover. But actually, the pick I really like from that game is Nationals and Red Sox. And I took the under. Really quick, I'm going to show this to you on Outlier. I'm taking the under. It's set at 8.5 right now. It opened at 8.5. It went to 9. Because it moved up, I want to make sure I'm covering my behind on it. So I'm taking under 9.5. That's Nationals and Red Sox under 9.5. Panthers on the money line. Travis, I'm on the fence on that one. So the money's coming down on the Bruins. The trends kind of favor the Panthers. I'm leaning towards Panthers, but I don't have a good sense on it. I actually think that the 2 hockey games, I'm not going to bet tonight, in part because we've seen these 2 teams, we've seen these 2 series go in directions I didn't expect. Yankees on the money line, but Rays +2. Yankees money line, Rays +2. Victor Sosa, Braves and Phillies. I like them both. That also goes to Kyle Klein over on YouTube. Appreciate you watching. I do like Phillies and Braves in a parlay. Really like what you're thinking there. By the way, throwing in the Dodgers, not a terrible idea either with Tyler Glasnow on the mound. Really quick, let me just show you how Tyler Glasnow has performed so far this year for the Dodgers. The Dodgers have just one loss when Tyler Glasnow pitches. They're 7-1 straight up, 6-2 on the run line. They're actually 5-3 towards the over. How have the Padres done with Michael King on the mound? When Michael King's on the mound, Padres are 4-3, but they're just 1-3 in their last 4 starts. So I love Tyler Glasnow tonight. I am absolutely taking Dodgers on the money line. We got another player prop bet for you, by the way. Let's jump on over to that Dodger game, give you a good same game parlay, and this one, Shohei Ohtani. Now, he's getting 1.5 hits. I don't want to touch 1.5 hits, but against Michael King, in his career, Shohei Ohtani has 9 at-bats. He has a .444 average against Michael King in those 9 at-bats, including 3 home runs. Ohtani rakes against Michael King. Oh, by the way, he's hitting .391 against right-handed pitchers so far this year. If you want to take over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, you can get it, but not every sports book is offering it. Only ESPN Bet is actually offering 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. So where did I go? I went total bases. Over 1.5 total bases. He's hit this in 7 of his last 10 games against right-handed pitching. On the road, 7 of his last 10 games as well. I'm going to put this one up on the big board. Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 total bases. That's the next bet we're putting on the board. By the way, Mookie Betts over half a hit is another one I'm putting up on the board. That one is available. Mookie Betts over half a hit. Great spot to take it if you ask me. If you can, over half a hit. In his career against Michael King, Betts has a .400 batting average. He actually has just 2 hits and 5 at-bats. That's how you get the .400. But both of his hits, home runs. So Mookie Betts, hit, runs, RBIs, 1.5, I'd take it. Mookie Betts, over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. You can put it on the board. Yes, sir. Again, if you miss any of my picks so far today, DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports, DM me on Instagram. I give away my picks for free. They're never behind a paywall. I never charge for them. I never delete them. Every bet that I make is based on trends, data, analytics. It's not about my favorite team, my favorite player, something that someone told me. I love doing my research to find a constellation of variables that point us in a certain direction. The picks that I give out every day are a reflection on that research. So if you want every bet that I make every day, DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram. That way you never miss a show, you never miss a pick, and obviously you get access to the best content on all of social media, if I could be so humble. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying everything we're putting out on the airwaves. Timberwolves versus Knicks, NBA Finals, Knicks in 6. Deadpool, that sounds like somebody who's really drinking the Kool-Aid of the last 4 days of performances. I'm not betting against the Celtics just yet. For some reason, the Celtics find a way to choke at home like every series they've played in the last 2 years. Seems to be game 2 more frequently than not. I'm actually going to throw out that game 2 by the Celtics, and I believe in the Celtics. I believe in the Celtics. Pat Sox. We mentioned Carlos Correa a moment ago. Carlos Correa, he has great numbers against Kikuchi in his career. Bad numbers this year against lefties, but I still like Correa. The problem is he's being offered at 1.5 hits runs. 1.5 hits. I don't like that. So Pats and Sox, if you can find them at half a hit, I take it. But other than that, I'm not crazy about it. Keep it a hundo has a question for us, McBride. Let's take a look at McBride, and specifically, is it his point total we're looking at? You're going to have to be a bit more specific, because when you say McBride 11.5, it actually tells me, what's the word? Jack shit. So make sure that you're letting us know what it is. So keep it a hundo. 11 what? Points, rebounds, assists, points? Because right now I'm seeing it set at 9.5. So wherever you're seeing it at 11, that actually isn't a great spot to take it. I'm seeing it at 9.5 right now. That's at FanDuel, DraftKings, ESPN Bet, and on Caesars. So be mindful of that. Now, he's only hit over this total in 3 of his last 10 games. But we want to dive deeper. How is he done without OG in the lineup? When OG Anunoby is not in the lineup, keep it a hundo. Can we get a round of applause for keep it a hundo? What a great find. Okay, so when OG Anunoby is not in the lineup, Miles McBride has gone over double-digit points in 8 of his last 9 games, 8 of his last 10 games. The only game he actually missed in that time was against the Spurs in late March. This opened at 11.5. It's come down to 9.5. But without OG Anunoby on the floor, this is a good bet. Now, I understand against point guards, the Pacers are a good team. Pacers are a really good defense against point guards. You know what? Not good enough for me to not like this. How about on the road without OG? It's hit in 5 of his last 6 games. I like it. Keep it a hundo, over 9.5. That's offered at even money. What a great find. If you want to take it at over 8.5 at minus 120, I freaking love that. That's a phenomenal bet. Keep it a hundo. Great find, buddy. Great find. Love what you're doing. By the way, I do my research live during the show, but when we find good bets, we give our praise. Like, we give you your flowers because you guys are just like us. You're sports bettors. You like to research things. When we find a good stat, a good trend, a constellation of variables pointing us in the same direction, we're all on the same team. What team is that, everybody? Team Cashing Tickets. Butt Fumble Sports is team cashing tickets. We're not against each other. The only foe that we all have is the sports book because we want to win money. We want to take the money from the casino and put it in our pocket. We are team cashing tickets, and I am rooting for every one of you out there to cash as many tickets as you can every single mofo day. Jennifer, why are Tigers dogs today at home? Why are the Tigers dogs at home? I think it's more reputational. 2 parts to that. 1, it's the Houston Astros, and 2, it's Framber Valdez on the mound for the Astros. I think those 2 factors are definitely contributing to the money kind of putting an emphasis on the Astros as favorites. But I'm like you. I don't feel that way at all. So I actually do have the Tigers covering. I took Tigers plus 1.5 earlier today. Let me actually show you a little bit. I saw a great trend earlier today. Let me see if I can pull it up. When the Astros are, it was this, I think. When the Astros are a road favorite this year, when the Astros are a road favorite in 2024, they are 1-10 straight up. They're 1-10 on the run line. You heard that correct. The Astros, when they are a road favorite this season, have just 1 win, 1 cover as a road favorite. It came against the Nationals. It was Justin Verlander's first start of the year. Verlander beat Mackenzie Gore on April 19th. Other than that, the Astros have been arguably the worst away favorite team in all of Major League Baseball. And by the way, the average run difference, they're averaging about 2.5 runs per game in those 11 games. They're giving up an average of 6.5. I like Casey Mize on the mound, by the way, for the Tigers. Let me show you Casey Mize's production so far this year. When Casey Mize has been the starter for the Tigers have gone 5-1 straight up. Now, they lost their last game to the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, but so far this year, Tigers are 5-1 when Casey Mize starts. They're 4-2 on the run line. I'm putting it up on the board. I'll show you guys how the money's coming down on this one. You're going to love this. 69% of the tickets are on the Astros to win. 75% of the money, Tigers to win. I'm taking the Tigers to win, everybody. Now, could I take Tigers plus 2 at minus 190? That's what I love, buddy. Minus 190 on a bet I love, taking it. Tigers plus 2. So, Jennifer, that's what we're about. I'm not about the Astros. Astros as an away favorite are dog poop on your porch in the summertime. They stink. I'm taking those Tigers. Keep it hundo. You did a good job. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are loving the content and loving the show. As I've mentioned throughout the broadcast, if you miss any of our picks, we give our picks out for free every day on the SHARPZ app. SHARPZ is a social betting app that's like a bulletin board for bettors. I literally post every bet that I make so you guys can see all of them. There isn't one bet that I make during the day that you guys can't see, can't access, can't follow, can't tail. So if you want to follow my bets, you want to tail my bets, great. You want to fade my bets, entirely up to you, but I give away my picks for free. Why? Because I'm a sports fan just like you. I love talking sports, I love researching sports, I love watching sports. And just like you, I think it's stupid, ridiculous insanity that there are people on social media who charge for their picks. Unless they are a true Vegas insider, unless they do this for a living for a casino, I ain't paying you for your picks, you freaking loser. So I give away my picks for free because the last thing I want to do is pick your pocket for $1, for a cent. It's not what I'm about. I give away my picks every day. All I ask is obviously you follow the show and DM me on Instagram, ButtFumbleSports. That way you can see every pick that I make every day, and that way you never miss them. By the way, Nets plus 1.5. You know the Nets are out of the playoffs, right? You know the Nets aren't playing anymore, right? You know the Nets are done, right? Anyways, with that said, it is time to wrap up our show. We have had an awesome time. I'm going to post these picks on my Instagram story, so every bet we research during the show will be on my Instagram story. Every bet that I made today is on the SHARPZ app. DM me on Instagram, ButtFumbleSports. DM me on Instagram. I will never charge you for it. All I ask is you hit that follow button and you show up every day for our show. We will be live tomorrow to do it all over again. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday night. I hope you enjoy all the sports action. DM me on Instagram to get every bet that I make, and I can't wait to see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, everyone, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great night.